What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we've got an absolute ton of stuff to talk about for, of course, Destiny 2. I actually just landed back from Gamescom in Germany, so wanted to kind of round up and discuss everything that's been going down recently, and also show off some stuff that I was able to record and learn while I was out there. So we've got some details on the massive update that's, of course, coming next Tuesday. Something is getting buffed, something is getting nerfed, and a vendor we will know and love is getting hidden. So a lot of strange things actually scratching the surface, but we'll talk about all of that. We also got a brand new cutscene or cinematic featuring Cayde 6. I'm assuming you've seen by now, but there are also a bunch of cool secrets and Easter eggs hidden inside there I want to point out to you guys that you probably didn't know about. And then on top of that, we've got some more random topics like things you should know going into the update, things to be aware of, also a mystery quest line, the raid, and the mini Dreadnaught. So ton of stuff in this one video. As always, if you enjoy it, a like rating is much appreciated. Let's get into it. A few interesting things I want to point out is firstly this thing, which you may recognize as one of those small hive ships accompanying the Dreadnaught in the Taken King cinematic. These things are obviously way bigger than the tomb ships, but a little bit smaller than the Dreadnaught itself. So they're very similar in structure, but these things are actually pretty massive. Of course, a bunch of them were destroyed, but this one either floated or was taken here and planted here on the Tangled Shore, so we can see this inside the reef. Now, this is actually going to be a location we can explore, so you can go on here, and it does look exactly like the Dreadnaught. So there was gameplay released by Game Informer, you can see right here, which does look the same thing pretty much. The inside, of course, looks very similar to the original Dreadnaught, so a lot of people are thinking maybe it's returning, but it's not the actual Dreadnaught, just the mini version. Hopefully, this place has also got some secrets and hive puzzles inside to kind of crack, but definitely a cool place for sure. You can also see those humongous rings or those portals in the sky, which seems to be connecting the Tangled Shore to the Dreaming City. You don't know exactly what's going on, but they're in both, of course, skyboxes. But whatever these rings are, it's definitely the connection between the two places and probably how you get from one to another. You can also see this banner for the House of Devils, the original Fallen House, which I haven't seen just yet in Destiny 2, but they may appear at some point. Of course, we did also see the Devil's banner inside a lost sector of the European Dead Zone, so nothing happened then, so it may just be an Easter egg or it may be something else. A quick update on something I mentioned in a recent video, but it is now safe to dismantle your legendary mods. You can delete them as you wish. You have to wait for the update. Bungie did say to save them because apparently there's some kind of feature they're working on to give you more stuff, but apparently that's fallen through and they're not doing it anymore, so you're now safe to dismantle them. Also, some more news from Bungie, but Forsaken's raid is officially coming out on September 14th. That is a date, so a week and a half after launch, quite a long time. The name of this raid is called Last Wish, so some of you who know the lore might be able to speculate what it's going to involve, but either way, Last Wish is launching September 14th. Let me know what you think down below. So next up, let's talk about this brand new cutscene featuring Cayde 6, of course, his last moments. This is a very, very cool cinematic, probably one of my favorites of Destiny and Destiny 2. This was actually shown to me earlier this week at Gamescom by Bungie, so I had quite a while to kind of think about it and process the information, and now that it's been released, I want to talk about some things you may have missed. So to set context, this scene takes place right after that very first mission set in the Prison of Elders, where you fight alongside him, trying to kind of regain control. It also, of course, takes place right before this cutscene with Ulgin, where he shoots him in the face. So this is the missing context we were kind of waiting for. Of course, this cutscene hasn't been shown off just yet in full. We've seen snippets, and this is the one again I saw at E3. I've described it before on the channel, but this does explain why Cayde 6 on the floor, he's beaten up and doesn't have his weapon with him. But Bungie were very clever, in particular making this cutscene, and there's a lot of things that kind of recur throughout it that are very important. So at the beginning here, you can see he gets revived by his ghost. He got most likely killed there by the rock, but of course the ghost revives him like any Guardian does. You can see him doing a bunch of hunter abilities against the Scorn, so he does a hunter dodge, uses a trip mine, double jumping, using a golden gun, and the blade barrage, which of course is the new golden gun super. But this Baron right here, of course, is very, very noteworthy. This is one to pay attention to. His name is the Rifleman, so his speciality is actually to snipe Guardian's ghost. That's what he does. So this isn't just a random Fallen with a sniper rifle that just happens to snipe Cayde's ghost. This is literally his speciality, and a month ago Bungie of course released the lore on all the Barons, and this guy's job is to snipe Guardian's ghosts. Bungie actually teased this idea a long time ago. So back in Rise of Iron, Felwinter, of course the owner of Felwinter's Lie, the shotgun we all remember, there were basically these evil and kind of corrupt Guardians called Warlords. So Felwinter would go around and shotgun their ghost shells to make sure they can't come back. So this is another example. If you're not careful, if you bring a ghost out like he does here and he's unaware, you can get it sniped and you're literally dead forever. That's his ghost, dead. No one can revive the ghost shell, of course, and now no one can revive Cayde. Also, before he gets hit, he does say, "Ace, I'm coming home." So if you don't know, Ace is his son from back when Cayde was a human. We don't know much about his family, but of course he was a human before the collapse, and his family would be long dead by now in the future. So him saying Ace, I'm coming home is him accepting death to go join his family. Another interesting touch is this guy who offers the final blow. And again, there's a reason for this because this guy's name is the Hangman. He is the executioner and he does the final blow. So he's basically kind of doing his job. He's actually a really crazy one. He loves to torture and inflict pain and torture servitors. So this guy, I guess, is fitting for the one to kind of knock Cayde out. He doesn't kill Cayde, but this is definitely his kind of final moment. So yeah, a very cool cutscene. And like I said, a lot more than meets the eye. A lot of thought went into this. So hopefully you learned something. And of course, let me know what you think down below in the comments. So next up, also on the topic of Cayde 6, I did want to mention the mystery quest, the Ramen quest, the very mysterious thing that caused quite a lot of uproar and a lot of confusion. Of course, I've talked about this weeks ago that it would be a thing inside the game at some point, most likely on this reset, of course, the last week of the Sources event, and that's what happened. It did go live. The thing is, though, there wasn't really much to the quest. You simply just went to the ramen shop, got a coupon that was expired from Cayde 6, had a lore tab, and that's basically it. Of course, there was a ton of speculation that maybe it leads to something else, maybe there's more to it, maybe there's some kind of massive secret that gives you another thing later down the line, maybe in Forsaken even. It has been since confirmed by Bungie to not be anything more. It is simply a lore tab and kind of a random cool thing, I guess, not a big quest or some secret exotic. So Dylan, one of the Bungie community managers, said regarding the ramen quest, Cayde 6 has left you a coupon. It may be expired. It's a thought that counts. Read the lore tab and the coupon for more. There are no further steps to this quest. Nothing at reset. Nothing requiring other items, keys, or activities. The item itself, of course, is the expired ramen coupon. It says valid for 1 free bowl of ramen with a side of gyoza. This expired decades ago, and this is a redeemable, a basic quality. There's also a legendary item called the spicy ramen coupon. It's also expired, but this is a legendary item, and it's also a consumable, not a redeemable. Because there is this legendary version, some people do think there might be more to it, but again, it is the icon for the same emblem we already have for ramen. So I think it's probably a placeholder, and I probably wouldn't read too much into it. The bottom line, Bungie did say there's nothing more, and they wouldn't say that if there was something else to be had. So it is probably just like a celery thing, just a random Easter egg, and I guess some more lore. But that is the situation with the spicy ramen coupon. For those of you wondering and asking, what I do with this thing, it is basically a lore tab. Moving on, another pretty big announcement is that Gambit is going to have a free 24-hour trial beginning September 1st. Think of it as pretty much a beta just for this game mode, but it's also going to be, of course, using the new weapon slot system and the massive sandbox update coming on Tuesday. So should be a lot of fun to actually try it with the new kind of systems. Of course, you're not going to get any Gambit loot from this, no special loot rewards, no Forsaken stuff. It's just going to be the activity pretty much. Also, what you're watching in the background is some new gameplay that I recorded at Gamescom in Germany, and this, of course, is Kel's Grave, the kind of reef-themed Gambit map. But Gambit will, in Forsaken, have its own ranking system for loot rewards, very similar to Valor. So it's called Infamy, and it's going to get you a bunch of stuff the more you rank up, obviously. You can also get quests and bounties from the vendor, the Drifter, to get more loot. But again, none of this is going to be in the first, it's just going to be the activity, but this is the kind of loot system in Forsaken. So I wanted to talk about some changes coming our way in next Tuesday's update, of course the August 28th one. So there's quite a lot of stuff in here, some buffs, some nerfs, some things you might like and might not like. I'm sure it's going to be very controversial. Beginning with Hunters though, and what I think is probably going to be a very hot topic is the Worm Husk crown. Of course, the helmet, the exotic one where you dodge, you get your health back pretty much. I would probably say the best exotic armor piece for Crucible in the entire game. The thing is incredibly powerful. You are going to see this thing on most Hunters in the Crucible, and especially the more competitive games you see, and for very good reason. Hunters have pathetic health recovery and regeneration, so this thing solves that issue. So beginning next Tuesday with the update, this thing is getting a nerf, so it's no longer going to start regeneration of health and shields. Instead, it's going to grant a larger health and shield bump at the beginning of dodge instead of the end. The way they worded that isn't the most clear, so we can't be 100% sure on how the new version is going to work, but you can definitely be sure it's going to be a nerf and not going to be as useful as it was before. But I think the main thing is that instead of regenerating all of your health and all of your shields back and beginning that process, it's just going to give you a fixed kind of bump of health and shield, and that's going to be it. No more regeneration after that. So all of you in the comments, let me know, what do you think of this? Are you happy? You're not happy? Honestly, I didn't really mind the Worm Husk that much myself. Of course, I do also use it, but after so much time playing competitive and facing against thousands of these hunters, I just kind of learned when they're going to use it, and I have to try and avoid them doing it in the first place. The only thing I disliked is that all the other hunter exotics for Crucible were just nowhere near as good, so there's pretty much no choice, and you have to use this one thing, otherwise you're kind of at disadvantage. But like I said, playing so much competitive, I kind of got used to the thing, both using it and being against it, so I'm not bothered myself, but let me know what you think down below in the comments. On the other hand though, some pretty nice buffs for the hunter. The Celestial Nighthawk helmet. This thing is going to give you 33% of your super energy back if you kill the thing you're shooting at. I think this is a really nice buff, definitely much needed, and it kind of incentivizes you to use it against mid-tier enemies and kind of mages, and not just raid bosses and stuff like that with huge health. Something else for hunters that I do think is going to be really cool is that when you dodge and it reloads your weapons, it's actually going to counter the reload, meaning it activates perks like kill clips. So I think that's actually really cool. Another much needed exotic armor buff is the Skull of Dar Ahamkara. This is going to give you even more super energy from Nova Bomb kills and also high rank enemies, so a bit close to the Orpheus rig. The rallying barricade seems to be getting a bit of a nerf, and it's no longer going to instantly reload your weapons when you cover, but instead slowly feed ammo from your magazine over time. The Helm of Saint-14, which I always thought needed a massive buff, is now going to give your allies an overshield, so basically Blessing of Light when they go through your bubble. So I think it's okay, nothing crazy, but should be a nice help. And the Mask of the Quiet One is now going to increase the energy you get from taking damage, and also when you're very weak, it's going to give you health back from kills. To match the faster time to kill of all the weapons, they're also buffing a lot of the grenades, so Axiom Bolts, Flashbangs, Incendiary Grenades, Storm Grenades, Scatter Grenades, all stickies, Skip Grenades, and Void Balls, so we're getting a lot more powerful basically. Some of the most interesting stuff though is in miscellaneous, so Xur is no longer going to be on the map as an icon, you can't see where he is, and he's also not going to be tied to the flashpoint. You have to guess where he is now. I know a lot of people have asked for this, but Bungie are now officially hiding Xur. You will no longer see him as easily. It's going to take a while for people to find him and figure out where he is. But at the same time, he is supposed to be a mysterious character, and these are pretty much free exotics, so I don't think it's too much to ask to just Google search where is Xur and you'll find him in seconds. The number one patch note we have all been waiting for a year now, swords are going to take shaders, so finally you can customize your swords now. On top of that, as a pretty cool teaser to Forsaken, next Tuesday is going to be a bunch of wanted escapees from the Prison of Elders just roaming on all the planets. They're not going to drop any rewards until September 4th and Forsaken is out, but you can of course fight these prisoners in the world after the update comes out next Tuesday. But those are just some highlights, some more interesting patch notes. Of course, there's going to be a bunch more released on Tuesday. This has been just a preview of them. So there you have it. As promised, a lot to get through inside today's video. If you enjoyed it and if you want to support the channel, then a like rating down below is much appreciated. Of course, Forsaken is not long away, so a lot of cool stuff on this channel coming very soon, and also some secret stuff can't tell you about just yet, but stay tuned right here. Of course, if you're new, make sure you are subscribed to my channel to not miss out, and follow my Instagram and Twitter down below in the description. If you want to watch another video from myself, click this image on screen right now. But as always, I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.